Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2014 Forsberg Racing Nissan SafariZ, or SafariZ, 370Z Safari Rally Tribute. Now this has 1072 horsepower, 868 pounds-feet of torque from its 3.5 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine. Now has all-wheel drive and off-road tyres to go with its stock off-road suspension. It now weighs 2,979 pounds and it can now do 0 to 60 in 3.070 seconds, 0 to 105.627 seconds, and going to a top speed of 190 miles an hour. Now, yes, this is part of the car pass, and I'll get into why I haven't reviewed it in a minute. But yeah, the stats are fairly decent. The speed, acceleration, launch, braking, and off-road capability are all really rather solid. The big black mark on this is the handling, which I'm hoping is just purely down to the fact that its off-road suspension hasn't been able to be changed, and it's now got off-road tyres which typically don't work on tarmac all that well, so hopefully that handling isn't as bad on the off-road stuff, because otherwise we're going to be in quite a lot of trouble, because yeah, we've got about 3 times the power we had originally, and yeah, it still weighs a fair bit as well, so yeah, but nonetheless, let's see what it can do. Now, like I was saying, this is part of the car pass, and usually when a car is put on the car pass for any given week, I will review it, but I haven't for this because I just didn't have anything really to say about it. It's basically just a tribute to a 1971 Datsun 240Z that raced in some safari rally, so yeah, and even then it's only visually looking somewhat similar with its decals and its extra bits of bodywork and lights, so yeah, that's basically all there is to this. And if I had reviewed it, I would have just started going on about how much I'm not a fan of the 370Z in standard form anyway, so yeah, there's nothing really much to say about this car, but hopefully it might well redeem itself a little bit on this series, because then it means that it's at least a fun off-road car when upgraded. So yeah, it's doing okay so far though. It's a really good rate of speed down there, more than 170 miles an hour. Now, obviously this is not the original engine that was in this car. In the original version it had the standard 3.5 litre V6 that you've seen in previous Nissan 370s, so yeah, which is an engine I'm not a fan of at all, to be honest. I don't think it sounds good in the slightest, and despite having quite a fair bit amount of power to it, it's never felt exciting. It's never felt like a car that really encourages you to, drive it properly. It just, yeah, the 370 and the 350 in both regards have never been favourites of mine in terms of sports cars, so yeah, that's probably why this wasn't exactly a exciting announcement when this got revealed as being part of the car pass, because I'm not a particular fan of a 370Z, and an off-road version really doesn't do anything much for me either, so yeah, but on the whole here, upgraded, it's doing us okay so far. Certainly feels quite agile, which is good. A little bit wrong there, but just about recovered it. Yeah, even this was getting up to nearly 150, which was a big problem with the Ford in the previous episode. It was really struggling to get up to anything more than 130, so yeah, this is definitely an improvement over that vehicle. But then again, it is lighter and a lot sleeker. That Ford is basically a brick with a V8 in it. we go. So was that an impressive time? Yes, it was, reasonably. 3 minutes 21.376 puts us 4th, surprisingly. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that is pretty damn good. The only cars that have beaten this then have been the Ford Mustang Mach-E 1400, which had way more power than this, the McLaren 620R and the McLaren 765 LT. So it's not broken up the McLarens, and that Ford is still a decent amount ahead of us by nearly 0.2 of a second. But yeah, we've managed to beat the Toyota Hilux AT38, the DeLorean DMC12, the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, the MG MG3, the GMC Jimmy, the Mini John Cooper Works GP, and we have knocked the Aston Martin Valhalla concept car out of the top 10, which has been in there since the start of the series, because that was the first car that we took out. So yeah, that was really rather impressive from this car, and yeah, definitely redeemed itself a little bit, considering I'm not a massive fan of the standard 370Z, and the off-road version isn't much different. But in this upgraded form with all-wheel drive, a big nice sounding V8 in it, plenty of power, and yeah, plenty of off-road capability, it's redeemed itself in terms of the fact that it is a really rather quite quick car when on the rough stuff. So yeah, well worth trying out in an upgraded form, but I wouldn't say that it's exactly the highlight of the car pass. Definitely one of the weakest cars that we've had in the car pass so far. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.